close to your neck now.
Okay.
It's all right. Don't worry. Things are all good.
So, in this stone circle, we have 113 original megaliths. So, there's 113 stones, original stones in the stone circle. There have been small ones added in between, but archaeologists were able to figure out how many original stones there were by digging down and looking at the pits, because there was deep pits dug in which these stones were placed. So there's one missing stone, and this is where the missing stone is, and it just so happens to be 114 degrees on the compass southeast. So there's 113 stones in the stone circle. There's one missing, and the missing stone is at 114 degrees. So it's the 114th stone, and it's 114 degrees. And why is that important? 114 is important for a number of reasons, as Jerry laid out earlier, but this is another reason. As I mentioned earlier, 58 degrees, this stone circle is associated with rebirth, creation, fertility. So 58 degrees represents the moment when the soul enters the infant in the pregnancy. 58 days, the development of the pineal gland at that moment in the 8th week of pregnancy, and that's why scientifically it becomes a fetus on the 8th week. It stops being an embryo, becomes a fetus. So the question of abortion can be settled using this. When does an infant gain its consciousness? It's at the 8th week of pregnancy. That's it. And it's all here for us to figure out. Well, what happens at 114 days? 114 days corresponds to 16 weeks of pregnancy. And what happens in the 16th week of pregnancy? Well, nothing major happens in the pregnancy of a male, but in the pregnancy of a female, it's at the 16th week, roughly 114 days, when a female infant develops her ovum, her eggs in the ovaries. Because every woman is born with a set amount of eggs in her ovaries at the moment of birth, at this moment. And that's the amount of eggs she'll have for the rest of her life. Whereas the males, they reproduce sperms every whatever day. Whereas with the woman is born with a set number of eggs, and those eggs develop 114 days into pregnancy. And that's why it's marked out here. And I know this is a lot to take on, but look, we're just putting it out there today because it's a very, very special day today, and Billy is here, everyone's here, so it might take a few weeks or months or years for all of this information to settle in, but stick with us. So 114 degrees. If you follow 114 out this way, the line across the globe goes exactly to Lough Gur in Egypt. And in Lough Gur, Egypt, you'll find a temple called Dendera Temple. And that temple is known as the Hathor Temple and the birthplace of Isis. It's a very, very special, sacred Egyptian temple on the Nile, and it's exactly 114 degrees southeast from where we're standing right here. We don't know why it lines up, we don't know how, but thanks to modern technology, we can figure these things out, and hopefully the next generation will come up with more answers. So the last, very, very, very last thing we wanted to show you is the solar analemma, just at 100. So this is 114. We're going to swing around clockwise to 180 degrees.
Just before you go, Sean, I know we are. See that stone there, folks? That's the outlier stone there. That's the Dermot Lynch stone. And if that stone wasn't there, an awful lot of the mathematics in this circle would have been lost, because that's the stone that gives us pi here, 22/7. If that stone wasn't there, we wouldn't have known about pi.
Yeah.
Okay?
And we're just last one. Last one now.